at the beginning of the school year, when we were doing our scientific inquiry unit, each student came up with an idea that they would like to investigate. Throughout the course of September and October, they designed their own question, they came up with their variables, they proposed a hypothesis, designed their experiment, and actually tested it, collected all the data, and made their own conclusions based on what they had gathered. They then put their display boards and practiced communicating their findings with the community, which they have here today. They've practiced presenting in class, and they're ready to answer all the questions of the visitors and the Shepaug community.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm here with one of the teachers, Mrs. Barksdale. Here's a question for her. What are some of the lifelong skills students were able to develop throughout this project?
Well, that students in middle school are able to take a problem and look at it in a scientific manner, which is very systemic throughout the global, world. And they were able to come up with a concise manner in which to approach the problem. And then they repeated trials, and then they came up with results, and then they decided whether their hypothesis was true or not. And the really cool thing about it was the way they presented their results. You can see the tri-boards, and the students actually got up in class and actually orated and spoke about their projects and about their results. So it was really a lifelong way for them to show communication skills and show how they could go about solving problems.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Our main learning objectives are basically the entire scientific method, from observing, asking questions, gathering research and information and materials, forming a hypothesis, designing an experiment, collecting our data, analyzing the data, and writing a full conclusion. These guys are really, they're choosing things that they're interested in, and they're taking the scientific method and making it real. I'm really proud of these guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, I'm Roxanne. Can you tell me a bit about your project?
Mine was about mystery of candy liquid. So we melted M&Ms and marshmallows, as you can see as a border, and we poured it through. We melted it, added a cup of water, poured it through the funnel until it fell into here, recording how long it took. And we did this, and so 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and 7 seconds, which made an average of 6 seconds. Except the marshmallows started to caramelize, so it took a really long time to get through the funnel, and we stopped midway.
What was your hypothesis?
My hypothesis was if one melts marshmallows and M&Ms, then the marshmallows will have the highest viscosity, because marshmallows are a lot thicker than M&Ms are, so they take a lot more time to fall through, and viscosity is the resistance to flowing, liquid's resistance to flowing, so it had a really high viscosity because it's really sticky.
Was it proven or disproven?
I find it was approved besides the errors, because it was still able to come through the funnel, and we were still able to record the times of the flowing.
Was this project interesting to work with?
It was, because we tried melting Jolly Ranchers, which did not work out well because it destroyed our first funnel, and it got 3 pots stuck together, and so that didn't work out too well. But
was this project fun for you?
yeah, it was fun to have my friend and to be able to work together and do an entire board and just spend time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Brendan. How did you become interested in your project?
Well, I found it on a website on the internet, and so when I saw the title, I thought it seemed interesting.
What was your hypothesis?
My hypothesis was if the geode is light in color, then the crystals will be the exact opposite. Like they'll be dark in color instead of the exact same color.
Was it proven or disproven?
Disproven.
Can you tell me a bit why?
The reason it was disproven is because, well, as you can see here, it sort of has a little white, along with the inside and the outside. So that means the hypothesis is a little wrong, but
Was this project fun to work with?
yes.
How was it fun?
It was fun because basically I like geology, and I sort of have like a rock collection with minerals.
Thank you so much. Hi, Mary and Kaylee. Can you please tell me a bit about your project?
Well, our project was to see if the color of a dog's food bowl will affect what bowl it chooses to eat from.
What was your hypothesis?
Our hypothesis was that the dog would choose red because border collies are known to be very curious, and since red is a color dogs can't really see that well, we thought it would be very mysterious to the dog and that it would spark the dog's curiosity.
Was this proven or failed?
It was proven incorrect because the dog went to the blue bowl 6 out of 6 trials.
What was most interesting about your project?
What was most interesting is that the dog was actually able to go to the blue bowl 6 out of 6 trials even when we switched the bowls around.
Did you girls like working on this project?
Yeah, we did.
Thank you so much, girls. Hi, Blaine. Can you please tell me a bit about your project?
Well, my project is about which hand is more sensitive to cold water. And how we're testing this is we're taking a bowl of ice cold water, and we're going to take a timer, and you're going to put your hand in an ice cold bowl of water, and then you're going to stop it when it starts to burn, and then you're going to take it out and write down your data, and then you're going to take your other hand and put it in, like your dominant hand, and put it in the bowl, same thing. And then it turned out that your dominant hand is not as sensitive to cold water, so it's ultimately your less dominant hand is more sensitive to cold water.
What was your hypothesis?
My hypothesis is if one submerges their dominant hand, then they will be able to submerge it for longer.
Was this proven or disproven?
Ultimately, in the end of this experiment, it was proven correct.
Can you tell me why?
Just right here, it says in the data, the right hand is the blue, and it ultimately came out that the blue had longer time in the water than the less dominant hand.
Was this project interesting to work with?
It was actually really fun stuff, just to do the experiment and stuff, laughing and stuff. It was really good.
I would like to ask you about your project. What was your hypothesis to your project?
My hypothesis was that if you modify an acoustic guitar, cut it open, change some things, put a pickup in it, it should sound electric like a normal electric guitar.
Was this proven or disproven?
It was proven to be correct. You can make it electric. It still sounds a little different than a normal electric guitar, but it did produce a sound from the amplifier.
Was this project exciting to work with?
Yeah, I work with guitars a lot with my family, so this was fun to do.
What was the most interesting part about your project?
I never thought this was going to work. I've been thinking about this for a couple of years now. I never actually tried it.
Sounds really interesting, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Toma. Can you tell me a bit about your project?
I tested reaction time on with using a cell phone, talking and texting, because that's a really bad thing to do. And my hypothesis stated that if one texts while driving, it was going to have more reaction time. But apparently I was wrong because, as you can see on the graph, talking on the cell phone is worse. And this picture also shows it too. So,
What was your hypothesis?
my hypothesis is if one is texting on a cell phone then one will have a slower reaction time than one who is talking on a cell phone because one can't concentrate on two things at the same time.
Was this project exciting to work with?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it.
What was the most interesting part about it?
At some point, one of the test subjects, when he was texting on his cell phone, or texting, so we had to use a rule. I had to use a rule to drop the reaction time, and he got 99 centimeters, or it was close to that. So it was really funny for the both of us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm here with Mr. Ciccone. How does the science fair tie in with the learner outcomes?
Well, it ties in with all four of them, engaging in the creative process because the students have to think of a problem out in the world creatively and outside the box. It also has to do with solving problems because they're going to have to think of a major issue either in their living area or out in the world, and then they're going to have to come up with a solution to that problem. With defending conclusions and judgments, they're going to have to design an experiment, get the data, and then form and analyze a conclusion from that. So they're going to be making judgments on whether they were right or wrong from their hypothesis. And lastly, it also ties into answering a call to citizenship, because if it's a real-life problem that they're addressing, like the reaction time of texting and driving, and they did an experiment based on that, that's showing that they're putting awareness to a major issue that affects them in their real lives.